It was a wild week 6 in the NFL, and we're going to break down all the biggest takeaways today on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Craps from Locked On Dolphins. And we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'd like to thank you for making Locked On NFL Scouting your first listen every day, and a big welcome and shout out to our everydayers. You know who you are. Those of you who never miss a single episode, we appreciate y'all being here very, very much. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Have you caught your breath yet?
No. I feel like I just woke up, Kyle. It's probably because I did.
You probably did just wake up because
Yeah.
I know what having post game on Sunday Night Football is like. Did it week 2, going to do it again next week. That's a late night. So here you are, trooping it out for everybody on Monday morning.
We're a real grinder, Joe, or Kyle. I just almost called you Joe, bro. Like, this is going to be bad.
It's okay.
I literally almost called you Joe.
It's not like I have new baby brain either. So
oh, my God.
We're just going to be two punch-drunk guys just stumbling through today's show. So
have you started calling one kid the wrong name or what? Woo! How's that going for you? Jeez, dude. Have you started calling them the wrong names and all that? Even though one's a boy and a girl? Okay,
no, we haven't done that yet, so we're doing okay.
It's coming.
Yeah, lots of really interesting outcomes, I think is probably the way to put it. And we have AFC contests we want to react to. We have NFC contests we want to react to. We have Cowboys-Chargers tonight, which I'm pumped for. I think that's a fascinating game. Kellen Moore revenge game.
Big, yeah. Big.
So obviously for the landscape of the AFC conference, the Chargers don't want to fall behind the Raiders in the AFC West standings.
Well, heater for the Raiders, right?
What the heck's going on here? The 3 and hey, how about the all-time bad beat? You remember what the spread was of that game
for Patriots Raiders?
Yeah,
I remember. I don't remember. No, I don't remember.
2.5. And Mac Jones took the safety in the final 2 minutes.
Yeah.
To make it 21-17.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a painful one.
All-time bad beat.
Bro, I didn't realize that. I mean, I saw the play. I just didn't understand the betting implications.
Because we Dolphins played at 1:00. I did the Dolphins post game. I'm done by like 5:30 with podcasts, posting everything, get knocked in. So I sit back down and I'm like putting in the scores from the 1:00 game. I'm like, oh, okay, Cincinnati had a couple of defensive stands late in the game, held off Seattle. That's fun. Oh, Cleveland held San Francisco to 17 points. You knew I was going to bring that one up at some point on today's show. Wow, that defense is the real deal. Oh, the Patriots Raiders game. Let's get wrapped up into that one and watch the downfall of Bill Belichick continue. And then they get the ball and they're down 2. And I'm looking at what we picked on Thursday's show last week. And we picked the Raiders to win, but we picked the Patriots to cover, I believe. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, this is perfect. It's 2 points. The Patriots just have to knock it a first down here, and the Raiders can kneel out the clock with like 1:40 left, and it'll be everybody wins. And then they took the safety. It's like, oh, there's people that have real money on that game. That must be awful. So, should we? Do you want to do the rundown? We'll do the rundown of the scores relevant to the AFC contest and go from there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you only had 4 games that were AFC exclusive last week.
Maybe that's why it was such a weird week. All these weird interconference games. I don't know, man. It's weird.
And one of the 4 was the Thursday game of Kansas City beating Denver 19-8.
Sleepwalking to a dub.
Then you had the Ravens beating the Titans in probably a
Tottenham Hotspur?
In Hotspur Stadium. Yep.
Tottenham. It's Tottenham.
Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
Really set the tone for the whole day because it was a weird game in its own right. You look up and think, what do you mean Tennessee has a chance to win the game? This is just
I'm concerned about Malik, Kyle. I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's not looking great. So Baltimore wins 24-16 over the Titans at the 9:00 game. The Jaguars beat the Colts 37-20.
I think the sleeping Giants are awake.
They are awake. And then the Raiders beat the Patriots 21-17 in Las Vegas. Now, from a mixed conference slate, you had 6 games yesterday. The Dolphins beat the Panthers 42-21.
We'll always have the first quarter.
Put it up, hang it up at Bank of America Stadium.
Right.
Beat the Dolphins 14-0 in the first quarter.
Right. You'll always have it.
The Bengals beat the Seahawks at home to move to 3-3, 17-13.
Gino, what was that in the red zone? I mean, brother, that was stuff that I have irreconcilable differences with. Just not throwing it, taking sacks, not giving anybody a chance with the ball multiple times.
The Browns pulled it out late against the 49ers. Another high draft kicker missing a game-winning kick.
Don't pick him in the third round.
Don't pick him in the third round.
There we go. You may have got the not even close to 30 points that you predicted for
the 49ers offense.
Yeah, but I once again validate you don't draft kickers until the 6th round or the 5th round.
Our Texans,
brother,
defeated the New Orleans Saints at home 20-13.
You want to talk about bad red zone quarterback play? How about Derrick Carr?
Yeah, I think there's a number of players on a number of teams that I'm sitting here watching this week. It's like, man, when we do the next reset, like we got to reassign some preconceived notions here and really change the narrative on a couple of players.
Yikes, man.
The Jets, speaking of yikes, the Jets logged 4 turnovers off Jalen Hurts to
You hear old Robert? You hear old Robert? He said we went through the gauntlet of quarterbacks and we embarrassed them.
Yeah, he did.
Got to face some of those quarterbacks again.
He said they're not 12-0 anymore either. He said that too. Because the Jets have never beat the Eagles before.
Petty, man. Saleh's pissy,
chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, he is.
I bet he'd like some Zach Smiley, get that chip on his
neck. It's the only thing that could withstand it.
And then Buffalo in the Sunday night game won a barn burner 14-9 over the New York Giants.
Found a way.
So biggest takeaway for me is the Jets getting through their first 6 games without Aaron Rodgers at 3-3. And the manner in which they did it, they do have this troubling tendency right now of falling behind in games, which is really ironic because their formula for winning games is playing defense and running the ball. But anytime you can log the kind of turnovers that they did against Jalen Hurts, you're going to put yourself in position to be successful. Philly opting to let the Jets score.
I thought it was the right move.
I thought it was too. I was surprised to see there was some discourse on that, talking about, well, if you stop them and force a kick, you've got a long-range kicker. You could have had about 45, 50 seconds left needing a field goal. You know, you get one explosive play. Might have been a better formula. You don't know what the Jets are going to do offensively. I disagree. I think they were just going to get up and run the ball three times and then kick.
Correct.
So
they gave themselves a chance.
I thought it was the right call.
Yo, the Jets didn't have their corners, Kyle.
Right. Sauce and Reed were both out with the cuts.
Wait. They held him to 14, picked off Jalen Hurts 3 times. Was it 4 turnovers? Swift fumble,
4 turnovers.
Right?
4 turnovers.
Yo, like we weren't sure they were going to be 3-3 with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Like you want to talk about a season that's absolutely on schedule. To me, it's the Jets.
Yeah.
Right. We had them winning 10, 11 games.
Yep. And they're going to come out. They're going to come out of the bye after next week, and they get the Giants.
Hey, careful about those Giants. A little pesky team. I don't know how you're able to get 31 in that defense, Kyle.
2 of the next 3 games for the Jets are the Giants and the Raiders.
They're going to be 5-3. I was watching that game last night against the Giants Bills, and I'm like, if Bills lose this game, they're in 3rd in the division.
It's week 6, Joe.
Week 6.
It's
week 6. All right, we got a lot more to talk about here. We're giving the Jets the flowers in the opening segment. Hey, maybe you want to get to some of these football games. You got to check out my favorite way to buy tickets to all the events. It's Game Time, folks. Check them out. Whenever you buy tickets, it can be kind of stressful. Doesn't have to be. And good luck or good news. Game Time is here for you. It is the fast, easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, all the music, all the comedy, and all the theater near you. They've got killer deals on last-minute tickets, all in prices. So the price that you see is the price that you pay. They give you an image from your seat so you know exactly what to expect when you get to the venue, a best price guarantee. They take all the guesswork out of buying tickets. The app is super awesome, easy to navigate. They have flash deals. And look, you don't have to like plan months in advance to go to an event. You can get a deal on tickets right up to the day of the event. And I love this. They send the tickets right to your phone. You don't have to dig through all the emails and find the PDF to download. It's sent right to your phone. So snag the tickets without the stress. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, redeem our code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
But Joe.
Yeah.
Going to the game is not the only way to get into the game.
Prize Picks. It makes it even more fun when you have a Prize Picks entry going into games. You got to check them out. Prize Picks is the funnest, most exciting, easiest way to play daily fantasy sports. I'm in love with this format, people. It's just you versus the numbers. That's it. It's not you against thousands of other players, including the pros, including the Sharks. Here's what you do. You select 2 or more players. You pick more or less on their projected stats, and you place your entry. That's it. It doesn't take long. You can make an entry in under a minute. And when you win, the withdrawals are super, super quick. And I've been doing well over at Prize Picks, Kyle. I feel like my ticket this year has been player props and being able to go over there, pick more or less, winning. It has just been awesome. So check it out. I mean, sports, it is the peak time of year for sports. NHL's going. NBA's about to be here. We got NFL, college football. It's all here. And like Kyle said at the beginning, it's even more exciting when you have a Prize Picks entry going into these games. So go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL. Use code LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, that's prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL. Use our code LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
So we did AFC contests and acknowledged what, 1 game?
Yeah, the Jets.
It's kind of a good start. Now, there's only 4 NFC exclusive games, but because there is so much overlap, I still feel very confident in our ability to cover a good amount of ground on the show.
Yeah.
So let's cover the 4 NFC exclusive contests. The Commanders beat the Falcons 24-16.
Oh, Ritter.
Like old Yeller?
I guess, yeah. I think we may have spawned something here.
Old Ritter, print the shirts. The Vikings beat the Chicago Bears in the Windy City, 19-13. Minnesota, after starting 0-4, now 2 consecutive wins out of the cellar in the NFC North.
I can't believe we trusted the Bears to get it done 2 weeks in a row.
Bummer about Justin Fields.
Yeah, thumb dislocated.
Dislocated thumb, couldn't grip the ball. We'll see what that looks like, but Bajan 0 opportunity. Here for it. Here for what it looks like with preparation to play.
Sure. Yeah, that was tough. That's a tough situation to step into against Flores.
Hey, congrats, you can step in and play Brian Flores' blitz crazy defense. I know you saw the Cody Alexander metrics from week 5 with Minnesota's just.
They're playing a different game.
They are bringing 6 every play, it feels like. The Rams in the on-schedule game of the week beat the Cardinals 26-9.
No, that's a good way to put it. I think that when the Dolphins, right? Those are your 2 on-schedule games of the week.
No, because
because the first quarter?
Right.
They keep scoring the whole time.
They do.
A game eventually turned into what we all thought it was going to be.
Let me tell you how I told you the analogy for what happened, right?
Maybe. I'm tired.
With my daughter.
Oh, yeah.
You don't believe in symbolism. My daughter, who's going to be 3 in December, was taking a nap and pooped her pants in the 1:00 hour. Which was the same hour in which the Dolphins were down 14-0 to the Panthers.
It got on schedule real quick.
Well, it wasn't on schedule for about.
Did you really think watching that game is like I'm emotionally detached from it, right? I'm sitting there watching this game. I'm like, okay.
Are you ever comfortable when your team's down 2 touchdowns?
No, Kyle, you're exactly right. That's a fair way to put it. But as a non, like, hey, my heart's not in this game. I'm like sitting here just waiting for exactly what happened to happen.
Okay. Sometimes it doesn't, though.
Right.
Sometimes it does.
But at some point, you knew Bryce Young was going to start just airmailing passes on third down, and that the defense, the Panthers, would start just crumbling, and it all happened.
The Dolphins said, okay, you're going to beat us. You're going to have to hit some throws down the field in short yardage situations and hit chunks. And he said, okay, I'll hit everyone foul and 10 yards long. Yeah. By the way, the Rams 26-9 over the Arizona Cardinals. And then our Lions, a statement win, smothering Tampa Bay's offense. This was probably the other on-schedule game of the week in the NFC. Detroit 20, Tampa Bay 6.
The Detroit defense is what's impressing me, man.
Yeah.
That was their issue last year. And I mean, I know they gave up 24 to the Panthers or whatever, but I feel like they have played good defense this year in the ways that they needed to play better complementary football, man. And that they were down to Craig Reynolds is the running back. They don't have Montgomery. They don't have Swift, obviously. And they're having to figure it out, and they couldn't run the football. And I appreciate that when teams can get outside of their script and just find a way. Yeah. That's a good thing, right? They ran the ball 22 times for 40 yards in this game. I mean, Detroit.
Meanwhile, the Detroit rushing defense has not allowed 100 yards to a team this season.
They're killing it, bro. They're killing it.
And they have allowed more than 350 yards of total offense to an opposing team once.
Wait,
and it was
250?
350.
Oh, 350.
And it was the game that they lost, which was the only game they didn't force a turnover all season.
Seattle game.
The Seattle game week 2.
I'll say this, the NFC power rankings conversation is going to be interesting.
Yeah, you had Philly lose. You had San Francisco lose. Detroit's now 5-1 in the same footing as those two teams. San Francisco got banged up, though. Say what you will about the Brock Purdy game.
Who's not banged up?
This was the Brock Purdy game everybody was waiting on, right? Well, yeah, but Christian McCaffrey gets hurt. Debo Samuel gets hurt. For all of that to happen in the same game, it's an unenviable place to find yourself. On the road, West Coast team coming east.
The Browns didn't have their quarterback.
Okay.
I know that might not have mattered.
Okay.
Right, that might not have mattered.
You buried.
You'd like to think it would.
You would like to think it
might not have mattered. I was looking at going into this week, the teams with the lowest passer rating, as a team, were the Browns, Patriots, and Jets, and then the Giants. Isn't that crazy?
The Browns, Patriots, and Jets.
Going into this week. So, yeah, maybe it didn't matter that their starting quarterback wasn't available.
I mean, San Francisco in this game, 15 first downs, 215 yards of offense. They won the turnover battle. They were penalized 12 times for 105 yards and still somehow won the penalties battle.
I think, the other team had, 11 for over 100? It was just ugly
Cleveland
game.
had 13 for 119 yards.
Yeah, it's just disgusting.
Somehow San Francisco was better on third down at 3 for 12 because the Browns were 3 for 13.
It's an ugly football game.
You checked all these metrics and boxes. Didn't win the game. Well, you also had 115 less yards.
Did you have a take on the PJ Walker not call the fumble, but I think it was incomplete pass. I agreed with the call.
You did agree with the call.
Yeah, and that's coming from a guy that I wanted the 49ers to win. And I was hoping they would score 30 points, obviously.
Right.
So I'd win my bet. And I objectively I thought it was the right call. He had control of that ball. It wasn't empty. Moving forward, I thought it was incomplete.
So there's plenty of calls on any given week where you think it's just outrageously objective that there's a debate. I do think there was some merit of a debate to that play.
Oh, I agree, but at the end of the day, I can stomach it.
Yeah.
So did you finish the rundown? I know I was.
Yeah, no, we got the rundown. We talked about how Detroit's beating everybody by 2 touchdowns too, by the way. Just as a quick recap, they won by 14, they won by 18, they won by 14, they won by 14. That's the last 4 games. And they lost by 6 in overtime, and then they beat the Chiefs by 1.
Put them at 1 in the NFC Power Rankings?
No,
we'll find out on a Wednesday.
We'll stack them up and go from there. What else stands out to you?
A lot stands out that we're going to get to in just a moment. But first, Stick with us. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. And that's why you got to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs will help you find the right people for your team faster and for free. Folks, it is so easy to create a free job post over at LinkedIn Jobs. And then once you do, you add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. Then they have simple tools like screening questions that make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. That's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, so we're doing thought or not?
Yeah. Unless there's any big, like, overarching takeaways.
Did you have overarching takeaways?
I kind of got into them as I was working through my thoughts there. I'll tell you what, it's Seattle for me. Geno was so rough to watch in this game, especially in like the highest leverage moments. It kind of has me concerned.
Okay, so let's do the thing. They have Arizona next week. I feel like it's a good bounce back opportunity. Joe, then they play the Browns.
Bears, that defense is going to eat them alive.
Browns defense is the real deal.
Where Jim Schwartz is coordinating defense, the defense is good.
And then they have home against Washington, at LA Rams, short week, home against San Francisco. Oh, what a brutal 4-game stretch for Seattle. I think we've talked about this in the last couple of weeks, but just looking at it again. Thursday, home against San Francisco. Thursday, at Dallas. Sunday, at San Francisco. Sunday, home against Philadelphia.
That's terrible.
Weeks 12 through 15 for Seattle.
It's nightmare fuel. You're glad it's not next week with the way your quarterback's playing.
Right. Y'all got to start stacking some wins now. And then they close against Pittsburgh and Arizona with Tennessee as well. Final 3. I have a thought or not.
Okay.
Thought or not. Derrick Henry would fetch no more than a 5th-round pick at the trade deadline.
Oh, wow. Really? A 5th-round pick. You think that's all?
No, he had a productive day against Baltimore yesterday. But think about the totality of the picture of where Derrick Henry's at in his career right now, his financial situation, his age.
Fifth round. Somebody's going to do that.
Do you see? He's in a contract year as a 29-year-old running back.
I'll give you a hot take. This is something I never thought I would say out loud. If it takes a 5th-round pick to get Derrick Henry, I'm actively rooting for the Bills to do it.
Do you think that the price would be higher than that? Which is the point, I guess, the point of thought or not. But
I mean, are the Titans ready to wave the flag?
You're 2-4. You're in last in the division.
Right. You didn't think.
Come out. You have a bye. And then you're home against Atlanta, and then you're short week at Pittsburgh. And I believe that's it between now and the trade deadline. When is the trade deadline?
I'm
gonna float around and produce this thing and pull it up.
This is going to trigger the Titans fans. They didn't like before the season when I talked about the possibility of trading Derrick Henry.
I understand that.
Now here we are after week 6 saying a 5th-round pick gets it done.
Well, with all due respect, they also thought they were going to be competitive this year. And that, what's Ryan Tannehill's situation? You're in last place in the division.
It's not optimistic to me.
October 31st is the NFL trade deadline.
2 weeks.
So they won't even get the Pittsburgh game. They have one more game before the trade deadline.
Are they going to be ready to make that choice?
I don't know.
I mean, Jacksonville's smashing the gas pedal right now.
Yep.
And what this Anthony Richardson news is really troubling. I mean, he might miss the season, Kyle.
I did not see that update. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Going into the games, yeah, they're saying there's a chance he could miss the season. Jeez. There's a lot of quarterback performances yesterday that are worse than the stat lines would indicate.
Yeah, I took great exception to you saying the 1 o'clock quarterback performances were bad.
Yeah, because the one quarterback, I got 8,000 Dolphins fans couldn't wait to tell me that Tua was not a bad quarterback. I was like, okay, I didn't, but the other 9 quarterbacks that were playing sucked. It's like, all right, guys, have your moment, enjoy.
Oh yeah, they'll do that to you.
Okay, that's crazy. A 5th-round pick. You want to talk? I mean, Nashville would not be happy about that. A legend of their franchise. I mean, a 5th-round pick's hardly going to help them. You know what I mean? Like, you're just dumping him. You're saying, hey, man, we know you're 29. We're like, go, here's a chance.
Right, just So right now, the 7 seed, and obviously this is way early. We're not even at the halfway point of the season. Cleveland is currently in the 7 seed at 3-2. Tennessee's at 2-4. You're in a bye, so you're going to things are going to play out for you next week. You're going to get a chance to continue to see what it looks like. The Browns play the Colts. I would venture to say the Browns probably win that game. Big game for the Chargers tonight because they play the Chiefs next week.
Here's what's crazy about the AFC right now, and I mean, maybe it's not that crazy because it is only week 6 and there's a lot of football left and it's going to sort itself out, but like, you have 2 1-loss teams, you have 2 5-loss teams, and then it's everybody else.
Yep. The team in 12th the team in 13th in the division, is 3-3. Or the 13th in the conference is 3-3.
Yeah. So 16 teams in the conference, and 11 of them have 2 or 3 losses.
Joe, thought.
9 of them.
The Chicago Bears will have the number 1 overall pick, courtesy of the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I'm concerned about Carolina, and I don't believe in their offense at all. I don't think that Bryce Young can execute for 60 minutes to give them a real chance to win football games. And defensively, they just don't have it, man. They're banged up, and I don't know. Like I don't see a team that was fighting hard to like get off blocks. You know what I mean? Like they're running they're just not competing. Like it's not good. And what are talking about trading Jeremy Chin and talking about trading Dante Jackson and Brian Burns? You're not getting any closer to. You don't really have assets.
Here's another thought: Brian Burns being traded now would net less than what the Rams offered them.
They get
at the trade deadline last year.
2 first-round picks.
Yeah, it was like a day 2 pick, and then 2 future ones.
Man. Yeah, they won't get that right now.
And shame on you if you end up trading him now when you said no to that deal then.
But at some point, like, here's the thing. You got, like, if you're Carolina, you have your quarterback, right? Like, whether you like it or not, you have your quarterback. You should be building around your quarterback, not depleting your team around your quarterback. But it's kind of miscalculations to this point have made it hard.
It's backwards to say, okay, we got the quarterback, so now let's hoard assets.
I don't like it.
Now, but to be fair, they also need assets because right now their number 1 overall pick belongs to Chicago. So if your clock is going to restart, now Brian Burns is 25 years old?
Yeah, he's got a lot of good football left in the tank.
You should pay that guy a contract. But anybody else, I'd probably listen.
Right. But you got to find ways to get better as a team. And you're missing draft capital, and you've had so many mistakes along the way that's really depleted your opportunities to have more in the tank right now.
I have one more thought for you.
Mm-hmm.
New England will have 2 wins at Thanksgiving.
All right, so do they Bills, Dolphins, Commanders, Colts? No, Bills and Dolphins are Giants.
No, so they go Bills, Dolphins, Commanders, Colts, and then bye. They play the Giants on November 26th after Thanksgiving.
Okay, so can they win one of Bills, Dolphins, Commanders?
Well, they would need 2.
You said they would have 2 wins. They already have one win.
That's the take. So like the assertion is they won't have more than 2 wins.
Yeah, I don't think they get 2 of those. No, yeah, I think you're correct about that.
How seriously do we take the race for them for the number 1 overall pick at this stage? If that's the case, because then you come out of the play, you play the Giants, the Chargers, the Steelers, the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Bills, and the Jets.
I mean, realistically, they should be 1-7 after the next 2 weeks, with Bills, Dolphins as their next 2. You're 1-7, yeah. You got to start. I mean, you're not going anywhere at 1-7. That's it.
I know somebody who's going somewhere. That's going to do it for us here on this Monday, Week 6 episode of Locked On NFL Scouting. I'm Kyle Krabs. He's Joe Marino. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. You can find us on YouTube or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Make it a great rest of your Monday. Enjoy Monday Night Football tonight, and we will be back again tomorrow to react to Monday Night Football and talk about the AFC landscape.